Hi friends, it's Joan at 10 Pentacles Tarot, and today I'm going to review for you the Oracle of Pluto, a 55 card exploration of the undiscovered self, written by Aubrey Houdeshell and illustrated by Rose Ides or Ides. Alright, so this deck I saw for the very first time on Sunday, well, a couple days ago, at Barnes & Noble. And so I thought it looked really interesting. After you do what I do for a while, you look at all the books, all the decks on the shelf, and you have most of them. And so, or you're just not interested in the others. But this one looked so interesting. So this is a magnetically sealed box. Like that, which I always think those are cool. Very sturdy. This is what the front looks like, obviously. Sides, Oracle, Pluto is by Running Press Studio. And this one is $20 in the US, $26 in Canada. And it says, get in touch with your deepest self using shadow work as your guide. Shadow work, the exploration of the darker side of oneself in the world, is a powerful tool for self-transformation and exploration. Using Plutonian archetypes and ethereal shadow puppet-inspired figures, author Aubrey Houdeshell and illustrator Rose Ides guide you through this potent process of personal revolution. Inside you'll find 55 oracle cards featuring archetypes like the crow and the tiger, an illustrated guidebook with card interpretations and sample spreads. All right, so what I thought was particularly interesting is the where it said shadow puppet inspired figures. And you know, like when you do the bunny and you do this in the shadow, and I'm like, okay, you can't tell from what I'm doing, but you know how you make shadows with your hands and you make figures. Well, that's on a lot of these cards, which I thought was really cool. Plus, I've been hearing a lot about Pluto lately, so this deck caught my eye. I love the colors. Okay, so the book is here and it slides out this way. And then the cards are in this pocket. And we're going to, and look at that, ooh, pink. And this is what the inside, I think that looks really cool as well. So we'll look at the cards in a sec, but first let's check out the guidebook. So this is a matte finish soft cover guidebook. And the inside pages are slick, which is kind of interesting. This is a 2023 deck. It says this deck is dedicated to anyone who has dared to traverse their inner landscape and unearth the power that lay dormant there. Okay, so it's a table of contents. The only thing that I've noticed that kind of throws me off is that there seems to be no rhyme or reason to the way the cards are organized here, okay? Now, there are only 55 cards, so it's not going to be that hard to look down the list to see where your card is. But my point is they're not in ABC order. They're not in, like, types of animal order. They're not in any kind of order that I can see. If you see something differently, let me know, please. Okay, so here we go. Table of contents, introduction. It says the Oracle of Pluto deck was birthed in tandem as an ode to Pluto, the venerable lord of the underworld, and as a vessel through which to delve deeper into our psyches or our shadows, our own personal underworlds, to become better acquainted with them. Too often people want to remain only in the light, equating darkness, which is to say our shadow, with something that's bad, undesirable, or maybe even evil. This, however, is a dangerous misconception. The prolific psychiatrist and psychoanalyst Carl Jung believed our shadow included everything outside the light of consciousness, and that it was neither fundamentally good nor bad. Everyone carries a shadow, Jung wrote, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. And they always say, if you try to suppress your shadow, it comes out. It comes out in ways that you may not imagine. All right, how to use this deck. It talks about reversals, the shadow card. it says the most important component of this deck will be what we've dubbed the shadow card, which is the bottom card of the deck during your readings. You can think of this card in several ways: as an anchor in your readings, as a foundational energy, or as a representation of your subconscious motivations, which can serve as an important window into the true nature of the roots of the question at hand. Okay, that gives you spreads, integrating the shadow. And we'll do a one-card reading at the end, and we'll check our shadow card on the bottom to see what message the deck or the universe has for you from this deck. Then it talks about the second spread, which is 5 cards. There is a third spread, which is 7 cards. And then it shows the cards. So there's a picture of each card, a small picture in color of each card. And like I said, they're not in any particular order that I can tell, but they're all there. And then each card, so all the pictures of the cards are here, and the rest of the book doesn't have pictures. All right, so then for each card we have the title of the card, the meaning. There are key words here, and then a description of the card and the meaning in a reading. So, and then there's a further reflection section. Okay, so we have the meaning and the further reflection, and each card has that. So each card's about a page to a page and a half, and it goes through all the cards that way. And at the end, we have about the creators and acknowledgments and artist acknowledgments. All right, so that is the guidebook for the Oracle of Pluto. All right, let's take a look at the cards. So the cards look like this. They're matte finish. They're really medium to heavyweight, but very flexible. I like that. They almost feel plasticky, but not, you know, not cheap. They seem to be very well made. And this is what the back looks like. It's not reversible. The picture is not reversible. I forgot to say if they, do these have, yeah, and these don't have reverse meanings. So, all right, let's take a look. And again, these are in no particular order. We have the boar, and here you can see the hand shadow figure and how the hands are held to make the shadow. That's kind of interesting to me. The tiger, the lion, and it'd be kind of fun to try these hand positions. See, you can see it, and try that. That'd be cool. I might have to do that. The camel, the shadow person, the griffin, gazelle, squirrel, gray okapi or okapi, frog, tapir, bear, hawk, elephant, skunk, snake, puppet master, wolf, world, friend, and some of them don't really have shadow puppet things on them. They're not all like that. Okay, snail. And each card has a black border and then a colored border. It's kind of multicolor, but really cool. I love the colors. Unicorn, mallard, devil, moose, spider, jellyfish, rooster, lizard, hen, hermit crab, doe, pigeon, alligator, penguin, goat, turtle, goose, hippo, swan, oops, eagle. And since that eagle flew out of there like that, maybe that's a message for you, something about an eagle. Salamander. We'll see what eagle says. Let's pull that one out. Salamander. Swallow. Turkey. Cub. Crab. Cardinal. Kangaroo. Fox. Rabbit. Giraffe. Porcupine. House cat. Ha, cool. Crow. And whitetail. All right. Let's see how they shuffle. First, let's look at the size as in comparison to my Radiant Rider weight deck. These are about 1/4 of an inch wider and 1/4 of an inch longer. So I may have a little trouble doing the riffle, but maybe not, because this is there are fewer cards. If I take a 78 card tarot deck and try to riffle shuffle, I'm usually in pretty much trouble. Okay, ooh, that's nice. Oh yeah, these are good shufflers. All right, so they don't stick together. They shuffle very nicely. Yeah, we already have eagle out, so we'll pull one more. And I'll show you how the book is written, so we'll... Okay, Spirit, what do you have to say to the viewer today? What message do you have for the viewer today? Spirit, what do they need to think about, keep in mind, or know? What is important? What should be important to them right now for them to pay attention to? All right, so our card is Hermit Crab. So I'll read that one first, and then I'll read Eagle, and then we'll see what's on the bottom for the shadow card. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back to the contents, and I'm going to look for Hermit Crab. And again, you have to go through the whole thing here. I think it would have been better if it was in alphabetical order, to be honest with you, just for the ease of finding the meanings. All right, so let's look up meaning. Necessary withdrawal, introspection, exploration of the inner landscape, and growth. The tiny hermit crab scuttles along the ocean floor, ready to strike out and explore the surrounding environment. Despite its name, this crustacean isn't much of a hermit. That said, thanks to a trusty seashell home, this busybody knows when it's time to retreat inside. When the energy of the hermit crab has arrived in a reading, a certain withdrawal from the outside world is imperative. This card is a call to explore our inner landscape in search of answers rather than to search for them in an outside source. When we're growing, we often reach a milestone in our journey that requires us to take a step back and pose questions to ourselves. If we rely too heavily on the opinions of others, these influences can drown out our own inner voice. To remain true to ourselves, a certain amount of alone time is required to let that voice have room to speak up. For those of us who commit to the spiritual journey in a serious way, the energy of this card probably feels familiar. As much as we can learn from others, the spiritual path is ultimately one we walk alone. Carve out some time for yourself and see what wisdom rises to the surface. You might surprise yourself. And then the further reflection section says, we all possess the potential for spiritual gifts. Unlike in the movies, however, the messages we receive from spirit through these psychic senses are incredibly subtle, almost a whisper. Sometimes we're present enough to grab hold. Other times the messages pass us by. Many mediums and psychics know this and spend as much time as they can away from screens and the countless distractions and noise of everyday life. Now's the time for you to learn the value of silence. When you cut out the static of everyone else, what inner wisdom and extrasensory experiences make themselves known. All right, that's good. That's a lot to think about. Spending time alone, accessing your inner wisdom, listening for messages from spirit. That's the Hermit Crab. Okay, the card that popped out, that flew out, is Eagle, and I feel like this one has a message for you, someone out there anyway. And let's look that one up. Eagle. Let's see. See, and I'm looking through all the... Okay, 81. It's almost at the end. Okay. Eagle. Okay, keywords are the spiritual messenger, protection, and the bigger picture. To see the elusive eagle in real life is rare and fleeting. Those who are lucky enough to behold this majestic creature know of its unique wonders. Just like the hawk, the great eagle is revered as a divine creature, one that is rich in deeply spiritual symbolism. Nothing flies higher in the sky than an eagle. Because of this unique vantage point, the eagle brings with it an important perspective, one that can only be achieved from a certain level of enlightenment and understanding. It also brings along an important message, and the other cards around it give context to that message. If you pulled the eagle by itself, this is a sign that you are the spiritual messenger, and you are being encouraged to share the wisdom, skills, and knowledge you possess. Perhaps there's a leadership role you're being asked to step into, or a community that you could serve. Often, and especially in spirituality, we are both the student and the teacher. Where do you embody both roles? Consider also how eagles are sacred across many cultures and sects of belief, often revered as a fierce symbol of divine wisdom and protection. It is possible that the arrival of this card means a shield is around you now. Trust that you are divinely protected. Further reflection. Eagles are often representatives of the Great Spirit. You would be hard-pressed to find anyone who views crossing paths with an eagle to be a bad omen. On the contrary, there seems to be a universal agreement that seeing an eagle is a great gift, regardless of creed, religion, or dogma. This inexplicable knowing is an example of the concept of the superconsciousness, the belief that as humans we all have a collective well of knowledge and wisdom that can be tapped into. Perhaps now you can draw upon this same communal knowing. All right, so those are the two cards. Now let's look at the shadow card, and let's look at what they're talking about when they say the shadow card. So I find this fascinating. Again, it says the most important component of this deck will be what we've dubbed the shadow card, which is the bottom card of the deck during your readings. All right, let's take a look at it. The bottom card is the cub. That is our bottom. That's our shadow card, the cub. And it says, you can think of this card in several ways, as an anchor in your readings, or as the foundational energy, as a representation of your subconscious motivations, which can serve as an important window into the true nature of the roots of the question at hand. All right, so cub, let's see what that says. Cub, 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 let me find it. Okay, now, all right, so that's, okay, 69, here we go. Yeah, I think there should be. I love this deck. My only complaint is that I wish the cards were in ABC order. All right, cub meaning the inner child. A companion to the bear card, the cub represents the cuter, younger half of this furry duo. It also represents the one who is being protected rather than the protector. Cool. Although the cub card by itself is a call to get in touch with your inner child, if you've pulled mom and her baby in tandem, it is important to take note of who is playing each role in your current situation. It may also represent the duality that exists within all of us. Where do you play the role of the protector, and where do you need more love, protection, and nurturing? The inner child is an interesting and elusive concept. There are plenty of us who grew up a little too fast due to circumstances outside our control. Perhaps real life asked us to take on more responsibility than was appropriate for a child. Maybe we fell into a caretaking role too early, or our family dynamics didn't create a safe environment for our inner child to grow, blossom, and flourish. However, just because we feel out of touch with our inner child doesn't mean they aren't there. Now is the time to get in touch with little you in a big way. Think back to what you did for fun as a child. If you draw a blank, maybe it would help to think about what you would have done had the opportunity been there. Do that thing now. Release judgment of yourself and tell your inner child how proud of them you are. If the thought of being silly and talking to your inner child feels uncomfortable, you'll know you're on the right track. Further reflection. Children are constantly full of wonder and awe. When everything is new, everything is magical and special. When was the last time you felt childlike wonder welling up inside of you? When was the last time you did something for the first time? Carve out the time in the next few days to try something new and allow the inner joy and excitement of the unknown to bring you back to life. Sounds like a great idea. All right, friends, that was my review of the Oracle of Pluto. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so. It's completely free for you, and it helps me out a whole lot. I want to thank you for being with me today. I appreciate you so much more than you'll ever know. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever it is where you are, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.